Jason Weigandt, the science guy here, not to talk about the science of wearing masks. I'm here to talk about if you add rain to dirt, you get mud. Yeah, I know, mind-blowing. Kind of a bummer for the motorsport.com Loretta Lynn's National 2. Last week, when we raced here at Loretta Lynn's 1, the track was pretty good, it was pretty gnarly, but everybody wondered, man, if we got different conditions or different timing. Last week they disked the track up and then it rained and that really ruined things. Everyone was wondering how well it would race this weekend, and wouldn't you know it, we got more rain at the worst time this weekend. It rained all night last night on Friday, but I think it would have been okay. By noon after practice, the track was starting to come around, and then at 12:30 it dumped, and by then the track had been prepped, and then the rest of the day was a huge ball up. And you know what they say in mud races, anything can happen? Well, how about everything can happen? And we'll talk about that here in the Weege Show, brought to you by the fine folks at Honda, who are probably not so fine right now, because if you work for any sort of race team and have to work on any sort of motorcycle, this is just a disaster. It really came down to every bike was going to have problems. Every bike was going to be steaming and smoking. Which ones would actually get to the finish or even get to the start? Because Zach Osborne right here rolled to the line in qualifying and the bike suddenly wouldn't fire. And they went through the entire fire drill, changing out parts, wiring, plastic, gas tanks, I'm presuming fuel pumps in there, trying to get the thing to go. The entire practice was gone and they couldn't get the bike started. Now, you normally would have a second practice, but they had canceled the first practice. The second practice was the only practice. And the rule is you have to log a lap, one lap, to qualify for the race. If you're in the top 10 in points, it doesn't have to be a fast lap, just a lap. And they also canceled the last chance qualifier. The last 4 gates are usually decided with a gate drop in a race. So Osborne was able to ride the B group. I think Kawasaki looked into the rule book and said, hey, you can't switch practices. AMA, MX Sports said it's a different circumstance when it's an act of God and you cancel multiple practice sessions and qualifying sessions. The LCQ in the first practice because of rain and mud. Osborne got to race and everybody's like thinking, hey, you know, that's just gonna make the series that much more exciting to have Osborne in it, challenging maybe Tomac for this title. But what we didn't know is that Tomac's bike would not make it to the finish of either moto. And suddenly Eli Tomac is 40 points down on your series leader, Zach Osborne. And remember, this championship is shorter than usual this year, so less time to make up ground. You know how in the Weege Show we usually stop by the pits and chat it up with people? Nah. No. I'm not gonna go chat it up with those guys. I don't think they're very happy right now. I mean, look, the bike didn't get to the finish with a lap to go in Moto 1 and 2 laps to go in Moto 2. Tomac goes 9:22 in the motos, and he's got a big hole to dig himself out of. Meanwhile, this team, Geico Honda, gets the victory. Barely did Jeremy Martin's bike hold on. He said it was smoking at the halfway mark in Moto 2. He slowed down, he did everything he could to nurse it. It looked treacherous at times. They made it through, they got it done, and he gets the overall without winning a moto. Moto wins go to RJ Hampshire. Heartbreaker for him. That dude is riding awesome, out of his mind. So focused, so determined. But in Moto 2, starts 27th, comes all the way back to 7th, Hampshire, and then the bike breaks. So I'm telling you, for everybody, it was like that close. And Alex Martin wins the second moto. Well, could have been. Alex Martin could have went 1-1 today, but he crashed on the first lap while leading Moto 1. You lead in a mud race, you can win a mud race. He proved it because he led the second mud race, Moto 2, and he won that one. The real point is here, it's absolutely nutty, like absolutely nutty. How often do we hype up races and say, oh, it's a mud race, it could really affect the championship, anything can happen, and then nothing really happens. It happens a lot. We're gonna remember this one. So they're talking about Chase Sexton's bike there. Sexton, I don't know if he didn't finish or what, but he was out of the points in the second moto, so gosh, what a ball up. Anything that could have gone wrong for everyone went wrong. The question was, a few guys nursed it across the line and a few guys didn't. The difference between victory and the agony of defeat was that close. The Friday show that I did here, we talked about the unestablished pecking order of the 450 class. I got some awesome news. We still haven't established anything because in a mud race, no one really knows where they stand as far as speed or fitness or their bike setup. It's just a guess. I mean, Justin Barcia won the first moto by a minute and then had tons of problems in Moto 2. and I don't think he even finished. Again. So I'm just saying, like, anything can happen in a mud race. You can take everything you saw this weekend and just throw it away. It means nothing going into Ironman this weekend. So that means everyone's coming in still believing they're the guy, that they have confidence, that they can win. And that's what we want to see, especially in that 450 division. And Dylan Ferrandis, by the way, is still the 250 points leader. He did a good job of salvaging second, so you think he'd be stoked on that. But actually not so much, because he wants to win. And he said the team made some decisions on the bike. How'd you do today, Ben? Oh, now I'm jinxing you. No, I just wanted you to take one weekend off of being good so I can get you on fantasy next week, Benny.
I win DNF. Weege.
The problem is Jericho.
No, you were the problem.
Oh, I jinxed it.
Yes.
Dude, but next week in fantasy, you're going to be such a good catch.
Bud,
you better pick me now.
Hey, did anything not happen today?
Bud, are you kidding me? I mean, Bud, you got lots of stories to
I love it. Well, not for you. Okay, by the way, did you try to conserve your bike?
Did I?
Did you?
I didn't know my bike was going to die.
All right, that doesn't help. I was trying to get analysis. I wanted Ryder to say, like, dude, I was trying and it still blew up.
You know what? Actually, my bike was started smoking a little bit in the first moto.
Yeah.
And then when it would smoke, I'd kind of like back her down a little bit.
Okay.
But it was fine.
So that wasn't our issue today. But next week, when you go 1-1 for my fantasy team with very high handicap, thank you for what you do for us. Thank you. Benny Bloss, everyone. What a sacrifice he made to suck in his results today and not finish either moto with bike problems so he can kill it next week with a high handicap in Pulp MX Fantasy. Oh my gosh, JGR and the Suzuki 250 won a moto. And honestly, if Alex doesn't crash in Moto 1,
he would have won.
I mean,
his hand flew off, he said.
Shoulda, woulda,
He hit
coulda.
that.
But,
Shoulda, woulda,
But
coulda.
we didn't.
but it looked good.
And he
know.
rode good the first one too, though.
Yeah,
Did they show him
did they
like
show when he was-
literally begging somebody to help him?
When
Yes.
he was stuck in the mud forever
Yes.
doing this.
Literally
and I'm like,
begging,
on
yes.
the radio. We cannot help you. You have to try to pick it up. We
So
cannot
is he
help
looking
you.
at team guys?
Yeah,
He's looking at them.
The
He's looking
mechanic.
at Lee and Dean, thinking they
At
can
least
help
you know
him.
the rules. At least you know the rules.
He knows, but he's like, well, I couldn't get it.
at him.
I can't help
Grab the
you.
handlebars. We can't help you.
And then the track guy eventually got over there. What did he still got 7th. I don't even know how he did that.
I know. Oh, he went back to 10th after that and then worked back. Yeah, he did great. He
Yeah.
rode hard.
I don't know. I guess
Every moto that he didn't crash, he won now.
okay. Undefeated.
Undefeated.
Undefeated in motos where he hasn't crashed. It could have been 1-1. That's the Hampshire team. Remember, he didn't end up finishing in second moto. Barsha's bike didn't finish second moto. What up, Renee? Yeah, there you go. So I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. This is a wild, nutty day. It establishes nothing for the next race, which will take place at Ironman in 1 week. Comeback is going to have to begin here for Eli Tomac, and that is going to be fun to watch. Heck hath no fury like a scorned Eli Tomac. And as J-Bone said, or who said that? Oh, no, Hilton from Thor. He had a lot of storylines to talk about. Anyway, thanks for Honda for backing this show. And thanks to you for watching. And thanks to Mother Nature. Should I actually thank her for making the racing crazy today to make the series that much more interesting? I'm not going to go tell the Cowie guys that. They're probably pretty bummed. See ya. Yo, hey, I'm back. Actually, as I was finished recording, I turned around and there was Dan Fahey, the team manager for Monster Cowie, and I said, I'm gonna guess you're not thanking Mother Nature for making this series exciting. And he said, no, probably not. But he actually wasn't super bummed. And he chalked it up to this. He's like, this is what happens in these mud races. Look at Rick Ryan winning the Daytona Supercross, which is the all-time crazy privateer story in the sport. That was a mud race. Cowie guys have been around, they know that's just how it goes sometimes. We'll see you next week in hopefully better conditions, how it turns out.